Want to go back to my mama? Sure, why not? You got it. Mama, here we come! What a freaky child Aku Jr. is. Just an observation of mine. Just one random floating head. Well, welcome back. Without further ado, we're off. Squadala, we're off. Hi everybody, and welcome back to Twilight Princess HD. In the last episode, we did the second half of the Arbiter's Grounds, but we didn't quite reach the final boss. Not the final boss, but you know, the boss of the dungeon. And in today's episode, we're going to do just that. Now, we picked up the spinner in the last episode, and we used it to activate this contraption, which rotated the wall around, and that allowed us access to this part of the dungeon. If you do want to revisit the lower half, like underneath here, what you have to do is use the claw shot on that. In fact, let me demonstrate right now. Where's my claw shot? I'm blind. There it is. Okay. You need to actually look. That would help. And then you drop down and climb up and jump over here, and this takes you back to the cylindrical room with the elevator in it. I don't need to go back there though. That's only if you miss a few chests, I guess. Because for some reason you cannot just Link's random hand is sticking out there. You can't go back across this quicksand pit once you cross over it. So if you missed anything in the in any of the underground rooms or the big room with all the spinner tracks on parallel spinner tracks, then yeah, you'll have to go all the way around the bottom again, and yeah, that's just very inconvenient. But they still gave you a way to access it. Anyway, the spinner purpose here is to accelerate our travel up to the top. We need to launch ourselves into that pedestal in the middle where there is a hole for our spinner. However, there is something all the way at the top of this which I can get, and this over here, is it in here? Aha! Nope. Is it in here? Aha! Nope, not in there. There's only one skull remaining. You cannot hide from me, Mr. Fairy. I missed. That was a little less impressive considering I missed on my first swing. Oh well, that's fine. Up the top of the all the way up the top of this spinner track is the fairy, but we don't need to go all the way up here. Let's ride back down and propel ourselves away with this quick spin over to the middle podium. And I should have kept spinning really, see if I can land right into the middle hole, but it didn't look like I was going to make it. Anyway, let's plug our spinner right in. And then we need to spin it, or we can get Link to do this weird leg bouncing thing. Is he dancing? But no, you need to like rapidly tap the spin button to get this thing going. And you need to do it for quite a long time, apparently. Any minute now. So yes, mechanisms controlled by the spinner, usually circular or cylindrical. And that makes another track appear, and that one will lead us up to the very top floor where the boss room is. And it also serves as like a shortcut from the bottom, I suppose. And that will propel us over here. And usually the fairy will be found just outside the boss room door, but in this case it's not. It's found a little bit backwards and on a high ledge up there. But I grabbed it because I know where that is, and yeah, it's not like Goron Mines where the fairy is in a completely different room than the boss door. But here we go, let's get the boss done of Arbiter's Grounds. Seems a bit weird saying that, considering we're only like, what, 5 minutes into the episode and we're doing the boss of the dungeon. It's very... but I have a reason for this pacing. No, it's not just that the dungeon is quite long. This is a very foggy room. And what is that in the middle? Wow. Quite an impressive skeleton someone's dug up here. It's an oh god, I can't speak. Archaeologist's field day. God, jeez, that word. You still live, how astonishing. No wonder some call you hero. But this is truly a bittersweet reunion. Truly. For I fear this is the last time I will see you alive. here he is! Stalord! You remember what I said about Stal in the last episode, or maybe the episode before that? But Stal is the genus of skeletal beings in this game, and it's got quite an impressive design. So, the Stalord boss fight. We need to propel ourselves around the room on the spinner and reach its spine, and spin into it to make it crack and break apart. He's got this one attack where he breathes this weird... I'm not sure what that is. It's sort of purplish... oh, I missed. Some kind of purple cloud? Purple fire? I'm not sure. So there's a bunch of these guys around. I'm not entirely sure what they're called. They're probably some other kind of Stal enemy. They're just... I think maybe Stal troops, I think they're called. And now let's interrupt you. Oh, and there's a bunch of blade traps going around the outside of the room as well. This can be quite frustrating. Especially if you can't find the right way in. If you keep bouncing off his hands, or you've got all these Stal troops down here, and then you just randomly get stuck. And if you spend too long on the spinner in the middle of the sand, it will eventually slow down to a crawl and then just stop altogether. And you'll have to get up to the spinner track again to propel yourself away. And that was massively bad timing. I don't know why I'm making such a faff this boss fight. I can't seem to aim at the spine. That's kind of painful. Just destroying a spinal column. He has got a very impressive design. I must admit, probably one of my favourite boss designs, just in general, and definitely one of the best bosses in the game, I think. Okay, and now we have like a massive wall of Stal troops surrounding his spine. This will take quite a while for me to get in here. I need to get back to the track and get away from here. Oh, have I reached? Oh, there's a very, very tiny gap in between those Stal troops that I could probably get through. But I need to get some more momentum. Oh, no, they just pop up at the last second. Just deny you. Denied. Oh, no, stop bouncing off them. I don't think they respawn once you kill them, so once you get rid of some of these Stal troops, it should be fine. Oh, that was so close. Just a little bit off. There's the blade trap, there it is. I don't know what he's spewing at. God damn these Stal troops. I was on the right track there. Okay, there we go. And there we go. That's Stalord's spine completely broken. He does have some major nerve damage, although he doesn't have nerves. He's a skeleton. Why would he have nerves? Huh, the nerve of this guy. And there we go. He's completely deactivated. And the sand... no, he sinks into the sand. But I think the sand drains in the room as well. This is kind of similar to, I think, the Mulgera boss fight in Wind Waker, with the sand draining at the end of the boss. So, yeah, we're all done here. Just his skull remaining. But we haven't got a heart piece yet, and Midna has not activated her portal. Very suspicious. Well, luckily there's a spinner track right in the middle of the room. So what say we do our little dance again? Oh, it's not over. Who knew? Man, that teeth shot reminds me a bit of a Cave of Bad Dreams in Rayman 2. You're being pursued. And here we have the second phase of Stalord's boss fight. Going around this giant column in this giant, I don't know what to call it, giant wall in the middle of the room. Now we've got some parallel tracks on either side, and he's going to start spewing some fireballs at us. We can, I think, reach the top of this room once again, but we can't do anything from up there. What we need to do is just jump from side to side to dodge his fireballs, and on the last hit you can ram into him, and that knocks him to the ground. Now, if I recall correctly, we can actually kill him completely in one hit here. Not with the Mortal Draw, but if we keep doing, like, I think quick spins, we'll eventually finish him off in one phase. I don't really want to do that. Okay, he got up in time. I have done that in one phase before, but that's fine right there. I wanted to show off the second phase because it makes it a little bit more difficult to reach him here, because a bunch of blade traps appear on the walls, and this is kind of annoying because they will obstruct you going up to the top, and then you have to bounce from side to side. I think kick back and forth is the way to go there. I don't think we're going to get anywhere close to the top. I suppose I should mention at this point the music playing in the background is a remix of King Dodongo's theme and Volvagi's theme. Or is it Volvagia? Oops. Oh, thank you, Fairy. You saved me. You've saved me. Don't know what's going on with these CDI references today. But yeah, it's a remix of King Dodongo's theme and Volvagia's theme from Ocarina of Time. It's a nice little nod to it. Although it's not a fire-based boss, so I'm not sure why they use the music here and not on like Virus or something. I don't know. Weird decisions. What's going on? And another thing I should probably at least talk about. I intended to talk about this a little bit later on, but because we're fighting Star-Lord right now, I suppose now's a good time than any. I want to talk about a little spin-off in the Zelda series, and that is Link's crossbow training. It's just a little gimmicky game using the Wii Zapper, which is like a peripheral thing for the Wii console, and you fit the Wiimote and nunchuck into it, and it became like a crossbow. And it was pretty much just a target practice, a bunch of different target practice mini games when you just aim for the high score. But Star-Lord just happened to be the final boss in that game as well. Maybe I'll get some footage of Link's crossbow training. It's been ages since I played it. But Star-Lord has been defeated, and here comes Xanth's sword just flying out of the abyss for some reason. I don't know. And there is the heart piece that we were looking for. Sorry, the heart container we were looking for. It's more than a piece. It is a full container. And that opens the gate onwards. We don't get a portal this time. Alright, Jack, let's go. We're close to the Mirror of Twilight. Indeed we are. And let me grab this. I squandered that fairy. I shouldn't have taken damage there at all. It's not the hardest boss fight in the world. Well, I guess that could be said for a lot of Twilight Princess's bosses. That wasn't easy to say. But yeah, that's probably one of the most enjoyable boss fights in the game. It was very thrilling using the spinner and coming up the outside of the room. I'm not going to save here. And going up the outside of the room on the spinner tracks. Very exhilarating boss fight, if a little easy. But yeah, it's quite fun. So we head up the staircase. We're now on the exterior of Arbiter's grounds, heading up to the very tippy top. And what do we find in this Colosseum-like structure? We are at the Mirror Chamber. I don't see a mirror around here. As we approach this structure in the middle, Shadow Beast fight out of nowhere. And this is the second portal that will appear in the desert. This one's not really that convenient at all, at least in terms of accessing place in the desert. This is just if you want to come back to the Mirror Chamber at any time, which we will be revisiting a few times, but yeah, it's not convenient for just everyday travel, it's just for reaching this chamber. Okay, let me deal with you. Oh, what the? Wait, Keith? I didn't know Keith appeared in this area. Oh well, that's fine. Come over here. I've got 5 Shadow Beasts this time. If you could get a bit closer together, that'd be nice. Okay, there we go. Got one Keith randomly flying around me. Hope he doesn't get in the way of this next cutscene. Where's he gone? Keith, where are you? I know you're there. Nope, he's just completely disappeared. Whatever, I don't want to deal with him really. You can see there's a spinner track. Okay, don't latch on, that's fine. There's a spinner track on the outside of the statue which takes us all the way up to the top. You're riding the snake. And on top of this head is... guess what? It's another hole for our spinner. So there's not really a whole lot of use for spinner aside from going along these tracks. You can use it against enemies, but it doesn't do hardly any damage, and it's just... its main use is going across quicksand and along the tracks. But that's it, it's more mobility based than combat based. It's a pretty neat concept though, I must admit. A dark entity lurks in the twilight. It houses an evil power. You who are guided by fate, you who possess the crest of the goddesses, hear us. At the command of the goddesses, we sages have guarded the Mirror of Twilight since ancient times. You seek it, but the Mirror of Twilight has been fragmented by mighty magic. That magic is a dark power that only he possesses. His name is... Ganondorf. He was the leader of a band of thieves who invaded Hyrule in hopes of establishing dominion over the sacred realm. He was known as a demon thief, a wielder of evil magic renowned for his ruthlessness. But he was blind. In all of his fury and might, he was blind to any danger, and thus he was exposed, subdued, and brought to justice. Yet... by some divine prank, he too had been blessed with the chosen power of the gods. His abiding hatred and lust for power turned to purest malice. Perhaps that evil power has been passed on to Aaand. You're just now figuring out where Aaand got his power? It's far too late. Only the true leader of the Twilight can utterly destroy the Mirror of Twilight, so Aaand could merely break it into pieces. Once broken by magic, the Mirror of Twilight became fragments, which even now lie hidden across the land of Hyrule. One is in the snowy mountain heights. One is in an ancient grove. And one is in the heavens. You who have been sent by the goddesses, you should be able to gather the three pieces. But you must be prepared, for a dangerous power resides in those fragments. And now we have our next objective for our big adventure, and that is to find the pieces of the Mirror of Twilight, which has been fragmented by Aaand, but not shattered. That's important, remember that. And a neat little touch that you might have missed is all of these columns above us. One of them is broken. That's the sage that got defeated by Ganondorf in that cutscene. And all of these icons, all of the little symbols on the top, the medals or the medallions from Ocarina of Time. So yeah, it's a nice little touch, nice little callback, which they seem to be doing quite often in this game. But that's it for this episode. In the next episode, we're going to start our search for the first piece of the Mirror of Twilight. And we're also going to have a quick trip around Hyrule, seeing what we can do with the spinner. Spoiler, it's not that much, but yeah, the spinner does have its certain uses around Hyrule, and we've seen a few tracks that require the spinner, so we'll look for them in the next episode. And so I will see you in the next episode, where we begin our hunt for the first shard of the Mirror of Twilight. Bye for now. Oh, I suppose it's worth mentioning now, just because this popped up on screen when I went to save the game, but it says that we can now access a new section of the Cave of Shadows, so now we can proceed past the 5th floor. I'm not going to do that in the next episode, it'll probably be in a few episodes' time, but just so you know. But this is the point of the game where we unlock the second section of the Cave of Shadows. That's just so you know. I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.